Well, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to my world. Welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedrick LaFleur, your host, and I'm excited to be with you tonight. Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we focus on leadership and personal growth with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders. Our goal is to introduce our audience to leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. You know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. See, you can't give what you don't have. So first you must grow yourself in order to grow others. Now, we believe that outstanding leaders like yourself will help us to help others. So tonight, folks, we have another dynamic leader with us. And, you know, every week I like to do a proper introduction of my guest. So let me introduce our special guest for tonight, Miss Cherryann Joseph. So Cherryann, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cedrick.
So Cherryann Joseph is the founder of Kairos Eagle Resources. She's a two-time graduate of Cornell University, and Cherryann has committed her life to serving her country and community while helping people achieve their potential. As a military officer, she served as a senior leader and operations planner at some of the highest levels of the Army, for the Army and Department of Defense. As a result, she earned a Defense Meritorious Service Medal and numerous other awards for her performance, and was recently recommended for promotion to colonel. Cherryann also taught science and served as a leadership advisor for students at two of the most prestigious public high schools in the nation. Currently, Cherryann leverages her experience to serve clients by providing them with practical tools and real-world applications to solve persistent problems. As an executive director on the John Maxwell team, she is certified to speak, train, and coach using internationally acclaimed personal growth, leadership, and professional development curricula. Using these resources and tools, she helps people and organizations improve leadership and communication skills, build high-functioning teams, and up-level their performance. Now, folks, tonight we're going to have a great conversation with Cherryann, and just sit back, relax, and if you have any comments, throw them in the comment section. And I'm excited to talk with you today, Cherryann. So let's just get started, and we'll just, I read your bio, and but a lot of times I like to hear from the individual, the leader themselves, on what really got you to where you are today.
Well, when I was growing up, I'm an immigrant. First of all, I came to the U.S. when I was about 9.5, and when I went to school, I had an accent. I'm from the Caribbean, from Trinidad. So I had an accent, and kids would make fun of me. And it got so that I was terrified of speaking in public. I was terrified of speaking in class. And so what happened to me is through different circumstances, I actually enlisted in the Army Reserves. Crazy, right? And I enlisted, and that forced me to come out of my shell. It forced me to take steps to improve myself, as well as to learn how to become a leader. So I think that was a key decision that I made. Joining the Army Reserves helped me do that. And also when I became a teacher, I learned how important it is to grow and to develop other people, especially my students. So my whole environment growing up in my career, professionally and otherwise, is to help kids. A lot of times people say, well, kids are our future, but I really believe that teens especially have the ability to influence and to lead in the now. So the organizations that I've been involved in and the projects that I've been involved in have focused on helping teens to grow in their leadership. Right. So I think that is what informs who I am today, is that I recognize that our kids have the ability to lead, and they can do it if we give them the opportunity. In addition to teaching, I didn't mention I had I actually took some time off from teaching, about 2 years, to work with a nonprofit organization that was focused on developing teen leaders. And the whole goal was to train them so that they can go back to their schools and lead clubs in their schools. And so I think that has marked most of my life, and my career is in helping people learn and to achieve their potential.
Awesome. So when I read before I read your bio, I didn't know that you were in the military, and so congratulations, one, thank you for your service. Number two, congratulations on being recommended for promotion to colonel. That's awesome. I'm an Air Force veteran myself.
Okay. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your business niche, Kairos Eagle Resources. What do you guys do, and who's your target audience?
Well, our goal is to help people achieve their potential, right? With a focus on youth, as well as youth serving organizations like churches, the Boys and Girls Club, and schools as well, right? You know, I look at what's going on in our youth these days. You hear a lot about kids with low self-esteem, high suicide rates. There's a lot of stuff going on with our children today. And I think they need resources that will help them to recognize, one, that their life has value, and two, that they have the ability to succeed and to make something of themselves. But they just need training, and they also need the mentorship that would help them to reach that their potential. So I use curriculum from John Maxwell, leadership and professional development, but I also have other resources that I can use to help youth, as well as to help the adults who serve those youth, to help develop them and train them to become and to achieve their potential.
Awesome. Well, it's serving the youth and helping them become better leaders, helping them understand how to make better decisions, helping them understand how to just gain their voice. Right. It's exciting and fun.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of young people. Both of us were young at one time, right? And I think what they struggle with is finding out who they are and what they're supposed to do. So that's what I want to come alongside the adults that serve them, to help these children, find out who they are and what direction they need to go in.
Right. Yeah. So when you were saying that, it reminded me of the Whitney Houston song, right? I believe the children are our future, right? Teach them well and let them lead the way. Now, audience, I would sing that, but I know we don't want to hear me sing tonight. Okay. Every time I walk into a school, Cherryann, it gives me great pride and excitement when I hear students talk about their dreams and their goals and what they want to accomplish, right? Mm-hmm. And then helping them understand how to shape that dream and helping them understand how to reach that next goal. Right now, I'm in one of the programs. It's called Wave Youth Leadership. We are teaching this group of high school students how to invest in the stock market. And in that program, we call it the 100K Club. But their assignment for the next session is to figure out what type of business they want to own. Mm-hmm. And then I told them I'm going to then help them. If they come with their business plan, then I'm going to help them develop their business.
Wow.
And that's the fun part of working with youth, right? Seeing them get excited about that stuff.
Right. Yes. That sounds like a good project that you're working on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what separates your business from other businesses in this industry?
Well, I think one is that I'm not, what I do is not canned. I work with clients to find out what they need. And then based on that, we work together to come up with a training plan or a development plan to help them. So it's not me going in and telling them, hey, this is what you need to do to improve or to change. It's me working with them to identify their needs and then developing a framework to help them get to where they want to be.
Awesome. Customized service.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I like that. I like that. So Cherryann, what makes you smile when you get up in the morning?
Well, I think, I'm a person of faith. So what makes me smile is getting up and just seeing what God does with me during the day. One of my favorite things is being what I call an answer to people's prayers. So it makes me smile when I do something to help someone, to add value to them that they were looking for. Right. Like, for example, last week I'm part of I guess it's a networking group that helps people who are unemployed. I'm part of the training committee to help that group. And so on that call, I was able to, there was a lady who's starting her own business, photography business. And so after listening to her, I was able to ask her some questions and to tease out from her things that she needed to do to improve her business. Right. For example, she does a personal portrait. So I was able to tell her, hey, to ask her, well, when you have a satisfied customer, because she was talking about how she personalizes her photography business and gives the customers a really great experience. So I asked her, okay, so are you asking those satisfied customers for referrals? And it was like a light bulb went off, because she was able to say, hey, I've got these customers, I can use them or leverage them to help me reach more customers. So doing stuff like that, I think, makes me smile and makes me excited to be able to help someone. I think as a teacher and as a leader, that it helps me to do that, to encourage people and then to help them, say, hey, I can make this change, or I can do this and I can do better. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, that's a great reason to smile in the morning, right? Well, first of all, since you're a believer, and I'm a believer, I'm an ordained minister, and so when we wake up and realize that we have another opportunity, that's the first reason to smile, right?
Yes. Yes.
And then the next opportunity to smile is when we then take that opportunity and go out and do something to help someone.
Yes.
Awesome.
I think that's what life is all about, right? If we focus on ourselves and our own selfish ambitions or selfish gain, life can become very miserable.
Yeah.
But if we go out and we try to help people become better or do better, I think that makes us, makes our life more meaningful.
Absolutely. Yeah, 100% agree with you about that. So, there are a lot of things that stop people from being their best, but give us a couple of examples of what's stopping, or from your perspective, what's stopping people from reaching their full potential, being the best version of themselves.
Right. Well, one, I think, is that when people fail to grow, right? I think growth is a part of life. And I know when I was mentoring one of my nephews, I was trying to encourage him to consider different options. And he was like, well, I don't want to change. It's going to change me. That particular opportunity is going to change me. And I had to help him to understand that in order to succeed, and you have to change. I think it was Einstein who said, you can't solve a problem at the same level at which it was created. You have to think and you have to grow in order to solve that problem. So people need to grow. And I think in our society today, a lot of times people think, when I'm done with school, that's it. I can't remember the exact statistics, but it says that once people leave high school or college, it's very rare that they ever read another book. And I think that's a shame, because you can't grow unless you learn. So I think people need to devote themselves to learning so that they can grow. And then the second thing is that a lot of times people think that their success or their destiny is dependent on someone else. They blame, because I was born into a certain family or into certain circumstances, that's what my life is destined to be. Yeah. But that's not the case. So I think when people recognize that, hey, I can make decisions that will help me become a better person and get the success that I want. And I think that's one of the things that I'm really grateful for in this country. In the country where I was born, I, when I started off in life, my family had an outdoor latrine
Okay.
and no indoor plumbing, right? And now here I am. I own, a couple of houses, and I've got, sufficient resources in the bank and other places. So where I started was not where I finished, and I want to help people see that just because you started in a particular circumstances, it does not mean that that's where you're destined to remain. It's up to you to make the choices, and sometimes those choices may be hard. Sometimes you have to go through difficulty. I know with my mother, when she came here, she started off cleaning people's houses, and then opportunities opened up for her, and she was able to make, to take that opportunity and to make a better life for herself and for her family. So I think when people, one, recognize, hey, I need to change, I need to grow. What do I need to read? Who do I need to interact with? And then two, that, hey, it's my life. God has given me this life. I can make decisions. Yeah, I'm going to need people's help, but those people are not going to be the ones who determine my destiny, because God has gifted me with this life, and I can use it, to do great things.
Yes, absolutely. Love that response and advice. So, if one of your clients, if I press the button right now and ding dong, it's the doorbell, let me get the door, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if one of your clients were walking through that door right now, and I asked them, I asked them, about you and your service, what would they say about you and your service?
Well, I think they would say that I really care about them, that I'm not just interested in earning a buck, but I'm interested in helping them improve and to succeed, and that I listen to them, and I listen to their needs, and that what the service that they get from me has helped them to improve not only their business but also their personal lives, because I'm interested in helping people not just in business or in their careers, but to have a better life overall, to make better decisions overall.
Well, that is awesome. You might want to raise your chair up a little bit, because it seems like you keep shrinking.
Yeah.
So, this entrepreneurial journey in the leadership development space it can be fun, it can be challenging, it could be a combination of all of those things. So, what would you say has been your biggest challenge during your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, I think for me is one, balancing all my life requirements. I did recently, I did some time on active duty, and that was really challenging for me because the position that I was in was very stressful. And then I also enrolled in a PhD program.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Mhm.
So that has consumed a lot of my time. So balancing all the requirements that I have in life. And I think the second thing is learning how to say no. Learning how to say no to opportunities that would take me away from what my focus is, I think.
Sure.
So that those are the two big things.
Yeah. And you know what, Cherryann, right? What you just said right there, that last part, is a challenge for a lot of people. Knowing that saying no is okay.
Yes.
And it doesn't it doesn't take away from who you are, or it doesn't take away from who that person that you're saying no to. And it's becoming comfortable with saying no. And no doesn't necessarily mean no forever. It just means maybe not right now. Right.
Right.
Yeah. But I like what you said. Hey, if it doesn't match up or line up with what my purpose is, then I have to say no to that. So kudos to you for that. So, we have a section on here where I like to ask for leaders to tell us what are some leader strengths. Leaders come in all different types of packages and with different strengths, right? So give us 2 or 3 strengths that you feel are important for successful leaders to have.
One is what I mentioned before. Leaders need to be learners. They need to learn and grow. They need to learn about themselves and their people. And the second thing is that leaders need to invest in people. I think I've got a very unique experience in that I've got, experience in the military as well as in the civilian world in terms of leadership. And I've met a lot of different leaders who are just, their main interest is in themselves, in furthering their career, in using people's talents and resources to help them achieve their goals. But I think leaders should be different. I know some people call this being a servant leader, like Jesus was a servant leader. He said he came to serve. And I think that's what the focus of a leader should be, on serving, on helping people to achieve their potential, helping people to achieve success. So, and then the next thing is that in order to do that, leaders need to invest in people, right? To give them opportunities to be out there, to be out front. And I think my last assignment on active duty, that was one of the things that I sought to do. Is I had several younger leaders, and I gave them, when we were given an assignment, I gave them opportunities to go out there and to do that briefing or to plan this project. But in the background, I was there helping them, guiding them, asking them questions. Well, how are you going to do this? Or how are you going to do that? So I think leaders need to do that, to take the time to invest in people and to give them opportunities to lead, give them opportunities to grow, and to encourage them in whatever way they can. Because I know in different schools that I worked in, and even in the military, one person can't do it all. Right. So it's important to be able to do that, because not only are you helping that person grow as a leader, but you're also giving them opportunities to improve the organization. And one of the reasons that I decided to leave my teaching career was because the leadership in the school that I was in, they were happy with the status quo, right? They didn't really invest in their people. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I love teaching. I love kids. I love helping kids. But all the other stuff that came along with it, I didn't want to do it anymore. I wanted to do something that would help kids improve themselves and go in the direction that they should. So I think, one, learning, and two, investing in people and caring about them. Leaders, above all, I think, need to care for the people that are under their leadership. Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of times people in leadership don't do that. So one of my goals in life is to help people see the the need to do that.
Yes, absolutely. Agree with you and love that. Good leaders ask great questions. So what are some best questions that either you have asked or you heard and you went, man, that's a great question. I need to use that.
I think one of my favorite questions is, how have you improved today? Right. I learned this when I was taking one of my courses in the military, is that even though we may not think that we did a lot in a particular day, it's important to sit down and to reflect on how have I improved today? How have I changed today? Right. A lot of times people are looking for that overnight success thing. And they don't realize that, hey, for most people, change and success comes a little bit at a time. So it's important to sit down and ask yourself that question: how have I improved today? And then the second question would be, what do I need to change in order to improve, in order to succeed in life? And I think asking yourself those two questions can go a long way to helping you improve yourself as a person and as a leader.
Yeah, I really love this second question. What do I need to change in order to succeed? And that question could go into, you said, hey, in life, but that could go in this project or on this project. What about on this team? What do I need to change to be successful in my career? What do I need to change to be successful in this relationship? Well, I love that question. That's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that. So, so many times, Cherryann, entrepreneurs want to give up or throw in a towel, right? Just as, they get excited about being an entrepreneur and they believe that, everything is just going to go their way. But the minute difficulty comes, the minute they get a no, the minute that they get some resistance, they decide they want to throw in the towel or quit and give up. So what advice would you give that person that's out there right now that's thinking about throwing in the towel?
First, I'd say make sure that this is what this is what you want to do, right? Because a lot of times people make a decision because they think, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make a lot of money. So make sure it's what you want to do and make sure that you're doing it for the right reasons. Because I know the John Maxwell team, they say this a lot of times. If you have a good why, if you know why you're doing something, that'll help you to persevere when times get tough. So, and it has to be more than just money, right? Because money can only take you this far. But if you have a good why, that'll strengthen you for the journey. And the second thing is, I would tell them, if this is what you really want to do, you have a good why, then you just, before giving up, take another step, do something differently from what you did before. Go out there and do something different and take another step. And also, maybe find someone who is working in your particular area and see if you can learn how they did it and what they did, get to know them. So I think if they do that, one of the things that I've learned is that it's how important it is to have people around you who are on a similar journey or who are ahead of you, because they can give you that encouragement and that help, especially when times get tough.
Yes. And we all have those difficult times, those difficult moments. They just happen. And you just got to understand what are you going to do in those difficult times. So I'll draw on some military experience, right? And, in the military, there's a lot of procedures and processes, right? Mm-hmm. Systems and processes in place. When I was in corporate America, systems and processes is what drives everything and makes organizations successful. So what I try to tell entrepreneurs is you need to have systems and processes in place in your business, because when you have those difficult moments, then what to do and how to overcome those difficult moments, so that you don't just fly by the seat of your pants and then realize that it's not working. You go back to your systems and processes and start all over again. And I'm sure, I know in the Air Force, we have systems and processes. I'm assuming in the Army, they have the same systems and processes. Right.
They've got, we've called them SOPs, standard operation procedures.
Sure. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, we kind of talked about this. I was going to ask you, why do you think it's important for people to continue to grow? But earlier on, you said, hey, being a continual learner is one of those things that help people understand how to go from point A to point B and going forward. So I'm not even going to ask you that question. So give us one or two things that you've learned about yourself from being a business owner.
Well, I think I have a lot. When I was growing up, I went through a lot of difficulty. Like a lot of people, I grew up in a dysfunctional family. And so my self-esteem was very poor, when I was a teenager and so forth. But what I've learned through all the experiences that I have is that I have something to contribute to this world, and I would not be alive today. Right? God has me alive for a purpose. And so his gifts and talents and abilities that he's given me, I can use it to help people. And also my experiences, I have a very unique perspective with leadership from both the military side of the house as well as the civilian side. And I think that unique perspective gives me a lot to offer, not just to my clients, but I think to my community as well, especially with all the things going on with, the racial division and other things going on in our community, that I have a lot to contribute. And I need to learn how to use my voice to help encourage people to learn to work together instead of being divided. So I think I have a lot to contribute. And I think that I have a lot of gifts and talents and abilities that I can use to do that.
Awesome. So, Cherryann, we have a segment on the show that's called Would You Rather? So let's play a round of Would You Rather. So,
you didn't tell me about this.
Yes, of course I'm going to tell you about that. That's my surprise to my guests. It's very easy though.
Okay.
So would you rather meet your great grandparents or your great grandchildren?
Ooh, I would say my great grandparents.
Great grandparents. All right.
Yes.
And audience, you can also put your comments in the section. You can answer these questions as well. You guys know how this goes. Would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
Wow. I would say I would say maybe a rewind button, because there's something decisions that I've made that I wouldn't have made in the past.
Okay, so with evaluated experience, you would probably do it differently. Okay.
Yes.
I got you. All right. So would you rather no one show up at your wedding or no one show up at your funeral?
Wow. I would say my wedding.
Your wedding. Okay. All right. Would you rather have world peace or stop world hunger?
Wow. Can I say both?
You see, it's called Would You Rather. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I would say world hunger.
World hunger. All right.
Yeah.
Would you rather be an adult your whole life or a kid your whole life?
I would say an adult.
An adult. All right.
Yeah.
Would you rather have free Apple products forever or have free Wi-Fi for wherever you go?
Free Wi-Fi. I'm not a big Apple fan.
Oh no. Okay, well, everybody can't be Apple, but I'm an Apple guy. Would you rather be able to read or be able to travel?
Read or travel? Oh, wow. I've always been a big reader, so I think I would say read. Read.
Okay. All right. Couple more here. Would you rather have free gas for 25 years or have your dream car?
Free gas.
Free gas. All right.
I only use cars to go from A to B. I'm not a big car person.
Okay. All right. Last one here. Would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
I would say the Amazon gift cards.
The Amazon gift cards. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Because most people have that Amazon truck showing up every day anyway, right?
Well, there are different things that I can use it as a gift for people. So, I have more options with it than just with the 100K.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, thank you for playing that round of Would You Rather.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was
fun. Yeah. So I always spring that up on my guests. It's just a little extra part of the show. It's always fun. And the audience participates as well. So, what's the biggest thing that you've learned from your mentor in the last 6 months or so that you think that other people could benefit from?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that I participated in a fundraiser, a 5K fundraiser, and my pastor was also in there. He's one of my mentors, and he was talking about how he was running with his son, and his son took off. His son is like 13. He took off like a rabbit and ran ahead of him. But by the middle of the race, his son was just huffing and puffing and just started walking. So one of the biggest things that we need to remember is that starting is, you have to start. Starting is good, but it's important also to finish, right? To persevere even in the face of conflict and trouble and struggles, to persevere and to achieve that goal. And I recently, during my PhD work, I had the last course that I needed to finish before I actually do my dissertation. And the first big grade in the course, I got 42 points deducted out of 150. So I was like, that's the most points I ever had lost any assignment that I was doing. I was like, this is crazy. So the next assignment I had to do, I had to start all over in the process to fix certain things. And I was like, this is crazy. Why am I doing this? I need to, I really felt like quitting, but with the Lord's help, I persevered and I pushed through. And even though I submitted my assignment late, I still passed it. And I'm grateful to say that I was able to finish the course and earn a good grade even after that poor start. So it doesn't matter where you start in life. If it's a poor start for me, I had a poor start in life. One, my father never married my mother, and two, he then basically abandoned us, and my mother had to go out and find a job and to support two kids. And that the statistics for a person like that can be very dire. Sure. I didn't have a father figure, and then she married a man who was abusive in a lot of ways. So I'm just thankful to the Lord that where I started did not determine how I finished. So you have to persevere, push through difficulties, because difficult times, I know that's probably a cliche, but tough times don't last, but tough people do, right?
Yeah.
That's a cliche saying, but it's true that if you push through, situations in life are not going to last. If you push through it, if you learn through it, and if you grow through it, you can push through and move out and come out on the other side a better person for that experience. But it's important to not give up. It's important to not quit, but to say, hey, what am I supposed to learn? What am I supposed to do in this situation so I can push through this and come out on the other end?
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. There are a lot of people that have a rough start in life, but if they stick to it, they persevere. And there's a lot of stories around that and overcoming difficult starts, right? And I like the story you talk about your pastor's son. You know, he start that race and he shoots out there really, really fast, and consistency. The pastor just said, I'm gonna go slow, and I'm just gonna be consistent and intentional. Consistent and intentional, and I'll finish the race. So yeah, absolutely love that. Now we've all, failed at different things in life, and tell us something that you failed at that you failed at it, but what was the learning lesson that you got out of that failure?
Well, in my most recent assignment in the reserves, I had a junior officer, and he had a history of not doing the right thing, of not, giving his best. So I was trying to mentor him. I was trying to help him do better and to learn better, because he was essentially jeopardizing his career. And so I was trying to mentor him and to help him as best as I could, but he was not receptive to learning. He was not receptive to growing. He was happy doing his career and his life the way he was used to doing it. And so what happened is he filed a complaint against me because I wanted to hold him accountable for something that he was not doing. So he filed a complaint charging me with harassing him, which was totally untrue. And so I was like, oh, this has never happened to me. This is crazy. And so one of the things I learned from it, I persevered during that trial, and his charges were found to be untrue. But one of the things that I learned is, one is to persevere and to not run, because I could have easily said, oh, I don't need to be here. I'm going to quit and I'm going to leave, because it was a voluntary assignment. But I decided to stick through it and trust the Lord to help vindicate me, because I knew that I didn't do anything wrong. But one of the things that I learned is that if a person is not receptive to mentoring and to getting help, I'm not going to force it. You know,
Right.
I'll offer my services.
Well, it looks like we might have lost our guests here for a little bit. We'll keep going. We're talking with Miss Cherryann Joseph of Kairos Eagle Resources, and she's the founder of Kairos Eagle Resources. She is a military veteran, or she's actually still in the military, and she recently got promoted to recommended for promotion to colonel. And she's also owns a business in the leadership development space, and she runs Kairos Eagle Resources. And we're going to put up her contact information on the screen so that if you want to reach out to her and get in contact with her, you can. So you'll see scrolling across your screen her website address, and you'll also see her email address on the screen as well. And so we'll get her back on here shortly. But we're talking again to Miss Cherryann Joseph. So folks, while we're waiting for Cherryann to come back, I want to share some information with you. You know, youth leadership is extremely important. Helping our teenagers and helping our young people understand how to make good decisions, how to make better decisions, if you will, helping our young people understand how to be an effective leader, helping them discover what they feel is outstanding leadership, helping them understand how to debate and how to disagree with someone in a healthy way and not have to go to, resort to fighting or any violence or anything like this. So WAVE Youth Leadership is one of those programs that we use to help our teenagers, our students, better understand how to make those better decisions, how to become effective leaders in the world. And, so WAVE Youth Leadership, and I'm excited that Cherryann is in the youth space. But WAVE Youth Leadership is one of those programs that we use to help school systems help teenagers. So I'm going to share with you this video about WAVE Youth Leadership. So hold on just 1 second, and we're going to get this video up on the screen. Yeah, so WAVE Youth Leadership, folks, that is the #1 evidence-based youth leadership program in the United States. And folks, let me tell you what, we are helping people catch the wave all over the U.S. and with school systems, WAVE ambassadors. And if you want to become a WAVE ambassador, folks, I'm going to put it back on the screen. You can see how to become a WAVE ambassador. And if you want to take your business to a higher level, if you want to take your business to a different spectrum in terms of the youth space, then you need to become a WAVE Youth Leadership Ambassador. And let me tell you what, folks, when you decide to catch the wave and do something different, man, I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna take your school systems in the area that you're in and the youth in the area that you're in, you're gonna take them to a whole nother level. And this is what we are about here at WAVE Youth Leadership. So while we wait for our guest to come back on, she had some technical difficulties. I just want to just talk a little bit about WAVE Youth Leadership. So one of the things that with WAVE Youth Leadership, we teach students from third grade all the way up through their senior year, and we take them through programs that discuss communication as well as leadership. And let me share with you just a few of the things that we do at WAVE, and some of the programs that your students will get to see and hear about and learn about in doing the WAVE program. So one of the things is when we are when they're in the program, one of the things that's going to happen is we're going to, in this communication component, we're going to help them understand how to better communicate. We're going to help them understand how to effectively debate with someone. We're going to help them understand how to facilitate meetings. We're going to help them understand how their communication style and what works best for them. And then once we finish that, we're going to roll them over into the leadership component. And folks, let me tell you what, I love talking about leadership development, right? So when we talk about leadership development with the youth, I mean, it's actually pretty amazing. So some of the things that we're going to help students with in terms of helping them understand how to be better leaders. One, they're going to learn how to what their style of leadership is. They're going to learn how to identify leadership styles. That we're going to help them understand definitions of leadership in community context, responsibilities of leaders, values and identity. We're going to help them with personal asset mapping. We're going to help them understand their values and putting values in priorities. And we're going to help them understand youth adult relationships. These are some of the things that your children are going to learn when they are part of the WAVE Youth Leadership Program. And at WAVE, we say we all value excellence. That's really what WAVE stands for. And so if you know a school system that needs WAVE youth leadership in their school, or if you're in the youth development space and you want to take your youth business to a different level, then you need to become a WAVE ambassador. And you see on the screen our website. Go to the website. All the information is there, folks. Reach out to us. Our contact information is there. You can reach out to myself, or you can reach out to Dr. Nicole Rankin and reach out to us. Let's have a conversation. Let's help take your youth leadership to a whole nother level. Thank you, guys. And I hope that you have a good rest of your evening. We were talking with Miss Cherryann Joseph, but her contact information will be in the comment section if you want to reach out to her. We will see you next time on Talk Leadership with Cedrick. Thank you, guys, and have a good rest of your evening. I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu.